Good morning and welcome to Monica's Money Minute on Spotify. I'm the one and only Monica Lubin. Thank you guys for joining in our first ever podcast. With that being said, bear with us. Triple M may be new to the podcast game, but we're fearless and we plan on getting right into it with our first guest here today. But before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to our program's first ever sponsor, Coffee at the Point, serving you the finest coffee in Denver since 2010. I'm here with Tim Ellis, Executive VP and Chief Marketing Officer of the NFL, who is here to give us some updates on what the league is doing in response to the recent COVID-19 outbreak in Tennessee. What's up, Tim?
Good morning, Monica. It's great to be with you. Glad I can help out the show.
Thanks for joining us. Let's just jump straight into it then. My first question to you is about the most recent developments. There's no denying the fact that the NFL has been shaken up since COVID-19 outbreak at the end of September. There have been a number of high-profile COVID cases in the NFL that have come up in the past few weeks. I'm sure you've heard of Cam Newton. And now there's talk of major changes in the schedule moving forward. Tell me more about that. Is it possible that we could actually see a Sunday in October without football?
Well, Monica, that's a great question. Of course, the health, safety, and well-being of our players, coaches, staff, and their families is our highest priority, and it will always remain so moving forward. As you know, the NFL's COVID-19 situation is currently quite fluid, as positive tests and unfortunately continue to affect our teams and the league as a whole. September 29th was when the initial outbreak occurred, shortly after the Week 3 game between the Titans and Vikings. 3 players and 5 staff members tested positive for COVID-19, unfortunately, and all in-person activities were suspended immediately. A number of additional players and staff members from both the Titans and Patriots organizations tested positive in the week following the initial outbreak. And just this past weekend, we saw continued failed tests from both teams. At this point, we have no other option but to modify the schedule so we can accommodate these rescheduled games.
I hear you. Early numbers indicate a decrease in viewership in 2020 compared to 2019, down about 10% overall. Is the NFL's brand image in jeopardy here?
Well, the NFL has the strongest brand appeal of any of the professional sports leagues in the United States, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. I'll be the first to admit that in recent years, our brand has been hit hard by controversy, whether that's the Colin Kaepernick situation with him choosing to take a knee, the long-term effects of concussions on players' health, or even changes to one of our oldest mascots in response to calls for racial justice. You know, times may be tough now, but our brand will continue to endure.
Right. I also recently read an article in the Boston Herald that stated, there's no mystery to this verdict. There's no need to poke around for clues or come up with more evidence. The NFL is guilty of gross negligence when it comes to doing what's best for its players. Are you sure you're reacting quickly enough given the negative perceptions around the health and safety in the NFL?
Wow, I really need to talk to my agent. These are tough questions from such a young podcast. I was really hoping for softballs like we saw during Deflategate. But in all seriousness, if we fail to adapt to this new environment, we risk permanently damaging loyalty to our brand for the next generation of sports entertainment consumers. They may seek out other options in the future, like college football, the XFL, the Canadian Football League. We're not the only game in town anymore when it comes to American football. The NFL and its brand have been able to rise above many of these past controversies. But if the league fails to show a commitment to players' health and safety, we'll further erode what little brand equity we have left at this point.
You know, Tim, I appreciate your honesty. So obviously, as the CMO of the NFL, part of your job is to work on the positioning of the NFL in the consumer's mind. With everything that's happened recently, do you think we are seeing a shift in consumers' view, the way that consumers view the NFL compared to other professional sports?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any denying the fact that our positioning is changing with time. You know, I actually happen to bring a handy marketing tool with me today. It's called a perceptual map. We like to use them. Yeah, there it is. We like to use them visually to demonstrate where we think consumers see us relative to our competitors. I think this one was put together by an intern, so I apologize if it seems kind of crap, but you'll get the idea. This map was created using the legendary Conley method. We've got 2 dimensions here: quality of COVID response and availability of content. As you can clearly see, the top right of the map is the sweet spot. This is right in the breadbasket, the perfect pass deep down the field, the ideal play called at the exact perfect moment, a flawless execution. Obviously, we missed the mark a bit there, and now we've got some work to do to catch up. We're working hard to get closer to that sweet spot where we maximize value for our customers while continuing to preserve our brand's image at the same time. As a representative of the league, I can say with complete confidence that we're working hard to improve content availability and shift the public's perception to the league having a good COVID response.
Well, Tim, that was surprisingly informative. Thanks so much for your breakdown. I can't imagine a more difficult job than head of marketing for the NFL. If I were you, I'd get back to work. But that's it for today. We'll see you next time at Monica's Money Minute.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you for your time.
Of course.